Morning, friends. This morning elaboration is on the topic experience is a hard teacher. It gives us a test first, then it gives us the result. Friends, there is no denying the fact that experience works as a hard teacher. We learn from our experience. What happens that generally people think that everything that is written in the book or that is there in the great scriptures can be applied for learning in life. That is true. Knowledge works as a foundation for a better life. But what is more important for every individual is the experience. Take, for instance, the example when we start riding a bicycle or when we start learning how to drive a vehicle. We, in the beginning, whatever instruction we learn, work for a while, but when we start driving, by experience we learn how to handle the situation. So unless and until you experience the situation, unless and until you experience the real situation in life, and unless and until you face the real life problems, and your learning is incomplete. Therefore, learning must be supplemented by experience. There are innumerable examples in our life that we often learn every day something through our experience. Even in the classroom situation, when a child of pre nursery and pre primary classes enter the classroom, certainly there are certain basic things that he or she has learned from her mother, from her parents, from her early mentors. She and he starts applying it in the real classroom. So the academic knowledge becomes secondary, but the experience of how life goes on, how things happen around us, how things get shaped, how things get shaped every moment. So experience works as a mentor in our life, and sometimes we take experience as a learning stepping stones, because when you start working on a project, through our experience we come to realize that what are the impediments and hurdles that we faced in the beginning of the project, and then we start sorting out the problems with the help of the past experience, and we start applying our knowledge and skill in sorting out those impediments to go further. Therefore, we need to have some important experience, and that has to be applied in our day to day endeavors. We often think of the perception that only learning through books or learning through academic excellence can help us lead a better life. But that is an illusion. Academic learning or learning from educational books and mentors can only serve as a foundation, but the further progress of individuality and your personality depends entirely on how you are using those learning experience to the real life situations. Therefore, friends, this is the reason why the Central Board of Secondary Education has adopted competency based questioning. The ability of the child is tested by the concept that he or she has learned, and how much the learning concept can be applied to solve real life problems. So application of questions have become more important. That is what experience is. When you are experiencing, when you are learning a concept, and when you are using it through your experience to solve the real life problems, you realize how experience works as a very good teacher. It teaches you how to apply the conceptual learning to real life problems, and how you can critically examine the situation and solve the problems. Therefore, friends, experience works as a hard teacher. It first gives the test, and then it gives the results. So we should learn from our experience rather than learning from the bookish knowledge. And the thing is that whatever academics, whatever conceptual learning we have in our life, whether we have learned from books, or we have from our mentors, or from our parents, or from anybody else, from our teachers. That has to be taken as a foundation for the further learning. And experience the situation. When you start working on anything, you experience the situation. When you start driving a vehicle, you experience how to control your vehicle, and how to actually keep it according to the traffic rules. So when, unless and until you drive on the road, even if you first learn the instruction how to drive, it will not work. That is what is important in life. What you have learned and what you have experienced, both should be supplemented for further endeavor, and that will give you the excellence in your approach for solving the real life problems. And that is the real, sense of keeping your things in right direction. So your mentor is your experience, your academic knowledge is the foundation, and your further, applying of those knowledge in the real life situation will work to give you the best result that you want in your life. And that is what I wanted to emphasize upon. Thank you. Have a nice